pop-up vaccine sites, could they be the shot in the arm South Africa needs to vaccinate more of its population? The sites being set up on the N3 highway to cater for mostly truck drivers. Nkosazana Dambuza is checking this out for us. Nkosazana, the complaint was the vaccination centers were at inconvenient places. People couldn't get to them at times that were convenient to them. So they've decided to take the vaccines to the people. Is it looking like there's much uptake?
Indeed, the Gauteng Department of Transport and the Department of Health, in partnership with eNCA and other private roads and transport stakeholders, have launched the first pop-up vaccination site for truck drivers along the N3 corridor. Now, we are seeing a lot of truck drivers who are parking their vehicles and getting vaccinated this morning. And joining me now to talk more on this is the Gauteng Roads and Transport MEC, Jacob Mamabola. Thank you so much for your time. What is the objective of this pop-up vaccination site here on the N3 route?
So, following the launch of the Gauteng Freight Forum, which is a forum that brings in the road freight stakeholders, we have decided on a concept to secure the corridor, and we're starting with the N3. The importance of that is that we are looking at protecting particularly the drivers who are critical to the economy, because the imports and exports, or actually all freight, about 92% of it is carried by these drivers. So it is very much important that we protect them against COVID-19, and that is why we have created this facility here. And the real issue is to promote vaccination and to make sure that we protect their lives. The second part of it is that we know that the freight sector, every now and then they are being attacked, their trucks banned. There's a lot of criminal activity that happens targeting the road freight community or sector. So we are also looking at measures of how to strengthen security measures and secure the corridor so that we can protect the movement of goods and freight. The third objective why we are here is that we are also, because people, when they present themselves for vaccination, particularly truck drivers, they also use the driver license. So we are also checking if the driver license has expired or not, and that's why we also brought right here the Request a Slot campaign in order to support those truck drivers and any motorists that may want to renew their driver license.
MEC, what inspired the partnership with private stakeholders in the sector?
The principle that really was the driving force for the partnerships was out of a realization that the road freight sector is very strategic to the economy. Its contribution to GDP is almost in and around estimated 20%, and that tells you this is the powerhouse of the economy. So it was very much important to form and build partnership with them to make sure that we protect the backbone of our economy. Because if truck drivers are sick from COVID, and we know they drive long distances, if there's no health support to them, that is going to threaten the economy. You can also imagine, on top of that, the looting, the burning of trucks, attacks on freight, with other people already starting to think of moving to other areas where they feel safe and secure. The industry itself is starting to see decline in the rate of investment and new players because of these challenges. So what really inspired us is the recognition and appreciation of the strategic role of road freight, which, as I say, 92%. Rail only take 8%. So this tells you we are dealing with a very important pillar and strength of our economy. If we want to create jobs, if we want to grow the economy, and if we want to make sure that the goods that leave our country are very efficient in the global markets in terms of price, they should move fast, secure, but in a less cost, in a best cost-effective way. So this partnership is very important to us.
And let me see, do you still have concerns about modes of transport that travel long distance in terms of adherence to COVID-19 regulations, like the wearing of masks and sanitization? The last time we spoke, I remember you raised concern over taxis and taxi drivers that were not adhering to COVID-19 protocols.
The situation relating to compliance with COVID-19 has improved because the protocols are mandatory and we go to taxi ranks. We checked just last week on Friday. I was in Roodepoort checking long distance taxis from Roodepoort to different parts of the country. And what we have seen there is maximum compliance in the sense that enforcement of masks and of course sanitizing, which we checked, but also the drivers themselves, the taxi drivers themselves, taking up the vaccination. And that tells you we are also seeing an increase in the number of men that are taking up the vaccination. So from a COVID-19, fight and our interventions and compliance level, I think the stakeholders in public transport in general are playing their role. Even here, I'm looking at the drivers and of course we're talking to them. They are also alert. They are also aware of the need to protect themselves, to be compliant with COVID-19 protocols. So in general, the answer is thumbs up. We are satisfied. We're happy. Of course, there will be isolated rogue elements. That's part of it, but they are not the trend. They are an exception.
Thank you so much, MEC of Transport in Gauteng, Jacob Mamabolo. And I just want to show you that we are just behind the Engine petrol station on the R21. So if you're coming from the Ora Tambo airport towards Pretoria, this vaccination site will be the one that offers truck drivers an opportunity to register and get the jab while on the way to various locations.
Nkosazana, thank you so much for that. Nkosazana Dambuza checking out a pop-up vaccination site in Gauteng with Gauteng MEC for Transport, Jacob Mamabolo, speaking about the importance of getting truck drivers vaccinated in order to get our economy moving again.